Namaste students. We have already started our principles of marketing subject. We have already started with cost accounting 2. So we left out with one more subject, that is financial accounting 2. So today I am going to start financial accounting 2 subject. In that I have chosen the first lesson, consignment account, so which is very important for your examination, and easily you can score 15 marks by solving one problem, because it is a compulsory problem for your semester examination. So consignment accounting, more or less we deal with the problems only, but still you should understand the meaning of consignment account. So what exactly consignment account, and what exactly adjustment we deal with, and what are all some special terminologies we use in consignment account, so that all you should know. So in a general sense, what is consignment account? See, we all know that consumers are spread across the world, but producers are not spread across the world. Producers might be located in their own convenient place. So here producers will supply their produced goods to their representative salespeople. It might be a person, it might be a firm, it might be a group of people. So they will supply their goods to them. So on behalf of those producers, these representatives, so they will sell the goods to the ultimate consumers. So now you understood, one producer will be there, one representative sales team will be there, who deals with the selling part, who takes care of selling part. So producers used to supply the goods. So this much you have understood. So now what is the seller is going to get? So he will get a fixed percentage of commission, or predetermined some fees will be paid to him for that particular work. So this is in a general terminology, whatever I said, consignment. Clear? So but literally what is consignment, and now let us understand. Okay, so here meaning of consignment, which I have highlighted here. So meaning of consignment, what exactly it is telling? To consign means to send. Consign means to send. In accounting, the term consignment account relates to accounts dealing with a situation where one person or a firm sends goods to another person or a firm on the basis that the goods will be sold on behalf of and at the risk of the farmer. See, very simple. Two parties, it might be an individual or it might be a firm. Correct? So both are, they might be an individual people, or they might be a group of people, or they might be a firm. So here one who sends the goods to another, who will sell the goods on behalf of the producer. Clear? So at the risk of the farmer, that also you have to understand. Clear? So this is what exactly we call it as a consignment. So one will consign the goods, one will receive the consignment, and he will sell on behalf of that person. So now you have to understand the terminology in consignment, whatever we use. So especially, you know, in consignment account, there is a person called consigner, there is a person called consignee. So who is a consigner, who is a consignee? Consigner is a person, one who sends the goods, a producer or an agent or an wholesaler who send the goods to another person. The person, one who receives the goods from the consigner and sells the goods on behalf of consigner, is called consignee. So I hope you are understanding. So consigner is one who supplies the goods or one who sends the goods, and consignee is a person, one who receives the goods from consigner and sells on behalf of that particular consigner. So now let us understand. So I have highlighted those points to here. In your points you can see here. So that is important points to be noted. I have clearly mentioned. Point number 1, the party who sends the goods. The party who sends the goods is consignor. So or principal. And point number 2 clearly says the party to whom goods are sent, to whom we are sending the goods, or who receive the goods. If you are getting confused, you remember this point. One who received the goods from the consignor, that's all. One who received the goods from the principal, that's all. You just remember this point, is called consignee. That is what I have highlighted in these 2 points. And third point you should remember, the ownership of the goods, that is the property in the goods remains with the consignor or the principal. Even though consignee is receiving a goods, but he is going to sell the goods on behalf of consignor, not by himself. Not by himself. Clear? So that is why the real ownership lies in the hands of consignor only. So that is what we call it. Then the agent does not become their owner even though they are in his possession. On sale, of course, the buyer will become the owner. So you have to understand. So owner is ultimately a consignor. But once the sales process is done, once a sale is done, the immediately consumer, one who have bought the goods, he will become the owner. Even though in the possession of a seller, the consignee cannot become a owner of that particular goods. So you have to remember this. Okay. So next, point number 4, the principal does not send an invoice to the agent. He sends only a pro forma invoice, a statement that looks like an invoice but is really not one. The object of the pro forma invoice is only to convey information to the agent regarding particulars of goods sent. So you have to understand here, the consignor will send an invoice to the consignee. So it is not an original invoice, it is just a pro forma. Because consignor will supply the goods on cost. Consignee will sell the goods at selling price. So that is why he will send only a pro forma. By looking into it, consignee will make a final invoice. Clear? So that is what we say. So this format, whatever sent by the consignor, will always give the complete information to the agent regarding the particulars of the goods sent. So how many quantity, quality, what kind of goods. So every detail will be mentioned in that particular format. Moving further, point number 5. Usually the agent recovers from the principal all expenses incurred by him on the consignment. This, however, can be changed by the agreement between the two parties. Always, consignor also spends the money and consignee also spends the money. So whatever the expenses related to the consignment, be clear, expenses related to the consignment which is met by the consignee. Consignee, if he has given some expenses, paid some expenses, suppose say consignor has sent the goods, so in a freight it has already reached, but while unloading the goods to his place, there is a expenses, unloading charges. So that now consignee is going to pay. There is an insurance charge, consignee is going to pay. Getting my point? There is a carriage, so that is also paid by the consignee. But ultimately this paid expenses is recovered, and consignor is going to settle this expenses to the consignee. Consignee is going to recover it from consignor. So this is actual system, but there are extreme cases where in an agreement, in a mutual agreement, this system can also be changed. This is not ultimate rule, so it can be changed with one small agreement. So that is what point number 5 we discussed. And point 6, which we are moving further, it is also usual for the agent to give an advance to the principal in the form of cash or bill of exchange. It is adjusted against the sale proceeds of the goods. So here it is a common thing, as the consignee is receiving the goods, so at the time of receiving the goods, consignee has to make a payment, advance payment. Okay, so consignee has to make a advance payment to the consignor. So that may be as a cash or check or through bills of exchanges. So they can give any draft as well. So this is a common practice which we follow in India. So next is point number 7. For consignee's work, for an agent work. So who is an agent? We always say, agent we use every time. So who is exactly an agent? An agent is a person, one who works for the commission. Understood? It is very simple, right? Agent is a person, one who receives the commission is called agent. That's all, simple terminology. So now I am calling a consignee as an agent. When consignee is an agent, automatically is a revenue. Source of revenue will be commission. Correct? So that is perfectly correct. So for his work, the agent receives a commission calculated on the basis of gross sale. Commission is always paid on the basis of sales. So you have to remember this. Commission he will get on the basis of sale. For ordinary commission, the agent is not responsible for any bad debts. If you are paying an ordinary commission, so if there is any bad debts, you cannot blame that agent or consignee for those bad debts arising of bad debts. If the agent is to be made responsible for bad debts, he is to be paid a commission called del credar commission. So he should be paid an additional commission that is called a del credar commission. So what is this del credar commission is all about? So del credar commission is paid on bad debts. If the consignee or if the agent is made responsible for bad debts, then on such bad debts we are going to pay a commission to him. So that is what we call it as a del credar commission. It is calculated on total sales, not merely on credit sales, until and unless agreed. So it is always calculated, it is always paid on the total sales, not on the credit sales. So credit sales alone cannot be considered until unless there is an agreement, between the consignor and consignee about the commission, that is especially del credar commission. So next, 8th point, periodically the agent sends to the principal a statement called accounts sales. It is sets out the sales made by the agent, the expenses incurred on behalf of the principal, the commission earned by the agent, and the balance due to the principal. So here you have to understand a periodical statement which is sent by the agent to the consignor. Okay, so here agent will send a account statement, clear, which includes the till the date of statement what is exactly the sales has been made, and second, commission whatever he is getting, number 3, expenses whatever he has incurred. So all these details will be there in that particular periodical statement, so which we call it as a account statement also, which is prepared by the consignee. Next point, firms usually like to ascertain the profit or loss on each consignment or consignments to each agent. So we usually calculate whether our business is running under profit or loss. So that might be calculated on the basis of each consignment, or it might be calculated on the basis of each agent consignment. It might be on each consignment or it might be on each agent consignment. So that is what we always calculated. Okay. So now few things which is related to consignment accounts. So dealing with such business where one person sends the goods to another person on the basis that such goods will be sold on behalf of and at the risk of the farmer. So that is I have already highlighted in the meaning. So meaning portion I have already explained that particular part. Okay. So next is distinction between consignment and sales. So now many cases we get confused that whether consignment and sales are the same. So no. So both are completely different from each other. So now it is time to understand what is the difference between consignment and sales. So let us understand point by point. So look at the first point. So at the consignment side, ownership of the goods rests with the consignor till the time they are sold by the consignee, no matter the goods are transferred to the consignee. So ultimate ownership of the goods is always with the consignor. So it is not a matter, because agent is an agent. He is a middleman between the consignor and consumers. Clear? So even though the goods are in the hands of consignee, the ownership cannot be transferred. The ownership cannot be transferred to the consignee. Clear? So ownership always lies in the hands of the consignor until the goods are sold to the ultimate consumer. So once the goods sold to the consumer, once the consumer is bought the goods, then the ownership will be transferred from the consignor to the consumer. So now let us understand in the form of or in the viewpoint of sales. What exactly sales is? The ownership of the goods transfer with the transfer of goods from the seller to the buyer. Immediately it will get transferred. Once the owner is selling the goods, once the buyer is buying the goods, so within that particular buying and selling process, the ownership also get changed. It is also going to exchanged. Point number 2, in consignment, the consignee can return the unsold goods to the consignor because he is the ultimate owner. So consignor is the ultimate owner. So consignee has to send back the unsold goods. He has to send back the unsold goods which is, with him. So which is, stored with him, which is left out with him, unsold goods. So in the viewpoint of sales, goods are sold are the property of the buyer and can be returned only if the seller agrees. So goods can be returned only when the seller agrees. So only when the seller going to agree, then only the goods can be returned. Next is the consignor bears the loss of goods held with the consignee. So whatever losses has been there out of that particular consignment business, so that particular loss has to be bared by the consignor only, because a consignor is the ultimate owner in consignment. So it is the buyers who will bear the loss, if any, after the delivery of goods. Delivery of the goods matter in sales. Once the sale of goods takes place, once the sale of goods is done, ultimately all the losses will be taken care by the buyer only, and buyer will be held responsible for all the losses. But in consignment, the consignor will be held responsible for such kind of losses. So next is point number 4, which you have to understand. The relationship between consignor and the consignee is that of a principal and agent. So the relationship, whatever it is there between the consignor and consignee, so it is always the relationship as a principal and the owner. Clear? Principal and the owner. But when you consider this sales, that is buying and selling, so the relationship between the seller and the buyer is that of a creditor and debtor. Creditor and debtor relationship will be there between the buyer and seller under sales. So next is expenses done by the consignee to receive the goods and to keep it safely is borne by the consignor. Whatever the expenses incurred by the consignor, so that has to incurred by the consignee, that has to be compensated by the consignor. So consignor has to bear all the expenses which is involved in the process. So here expenses incurred by the buyer are to be borne by the buyer itself after the delivery of goods. So buyer has to take care of all kinds of expenses, so whichever paid by him. So that is the major differences between consignment and consignee, consignment and sales. So we have understood few terminologies in consignment, account terminologies. So in the next particular class, so we will understand few more things and we'll start up the problems immediately. So in the second video, we will understand few terminologies which is related to consignment, and we'll start immediately with the problem. So until then, stay tuned, take care, bye bye. So I'll see you in the next video.